Hey everyone, I can see a lot of people listening to it, and yeah. So I'm Avi Dwivedi, and I got privileged to be with you guys and share what I do and how you can be a part of it, or maybe how you can know more about it. Okay, so I'm Avi Dwivedi, and I'm right now I'm a public speaker, you can say, but also I've served as a medical imaging scientist for 3 years at a company called Immersive Touch. I've I'm the founder of Extended Reality Developers of India, which is India's biggest XR community. We have more than 3,000 members, and we have more than 72 people who are running this community, the volunteers of this community. Also, we are also running some sort of entrepreneur program, business simulation, all sort of things. Uh, I also have another company called Unitized Studios, which is a service-based company, and XRDI is a non-profit. So whatever we do at XRDI is available for free. We don't charge for education. That is our motive, because we believe in that education should be free, and that is what I'm doing here. Uh, Okay, so thanks to the Cleanify community. You guys are awesome. You guys are doing so many great sessions, and thanks for inviting me for this one. Thanks to Manav who organized this one. And yeah, you guys are really humble, and I love the way you guys are learning together and helping each other, learning new stuff. So I've been part of several national, international platforms. Like I've been a speaker at Thai Global Summit. I've been a speaker at a World Leader Summit. I've been a speaker at a Global Entrepreneur Week. I've did fundraising for COVID. I did a lot of sessions with communities like Gulf Script, like GDG, like IEEE. I have been there in more than 20 universities talking about virtual reality, talking about augmented reality. I hope you guys are getting my audio clear, because if it's not clear, I can correct it right now. So, Manav, is it clear?
Yeah, basically,
Okay,
pretty good.
so yeah, looks like. Okay, so I've been into 20 plus universities, including IITs, IIT Kharagpur, I am Bangalore. So virtual reality is the need of the industry, and we are going to dive deeper into that XR industry. We are going to talk about XR industry. So let's understand this. So you might have heard of some of these terms. There are VR, there is AR, there is MR, there is XR. There is also a word called CR. Okay, so let's. I wanted to make this conversation interactive. So if somebody want to if somebody had any previous experiences with any of these technologies like virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, XR is extended reality, so they can definitely share. Let me know any prior experiences.
Yeah, like they are not allowed to unmute themselves
Okay,
for
okay,
now. We can
okay.
have a discussion after
No worries, no
go
worries.
to the next
At the
level.
time of Q&A, we can discuss that. Okay, so
Yeah,
uh, yeah. So you
but
might
there
be
is chat too.
wondering,
You can
yeah.
interact there
Okay,
too. Yeah,
okay. So you might be wondering that what is XR? You might have heard of some of the term like VR and AR are pretty popular, but you must be wondering that what is MR, what is CR, what is XR. So to tell you more on this is basically you might have heard of AI, right? AI has several other sections like AI. In AI, we do natural language processing, which is NLP. We do computer vision, which is CV. We do automations is there. Generative modeling is there. CNNs, which is convolutional neural networks, and all sort of neural networks, recurring neural networks, and all these sort of terms. So all these sort of terms are uh, the the same umbrella which covers all these sort of terms is called AI. So similarly, whatever you are doing whether you are doing NLP, whether you are doing image processing, whether you are doing any sort of task, these are machine learning. These are all somewhere or the other part of AI spectrum. So similarly, in extended reality is the broader perspective, and in that broader perspective, there are several technologies involved like virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, cinematic realities, haptic technologies, 360 degree cameras, and 360 video recordings, and volumetric captures. There are plenty of subjects to talk about. Okay. Okay, so in 2020, you might have heard of these two words a lot: digital and virtual. So you must be wondering, okay, these two are almost the same words, right? What is the difference between a digital and virtual thing? Okay, so even I used to wonder years back that why they are two words. So whenever, let me tell you again, whenever you see two words for same thing, they are very fundamentally different things. Okay, they are not. We don't have two words for same thing. Okay. So similarly in this one as well, digital and virtual are different by a very small factor. And what is that small factor? Is this: that digital is the communication between machine and machine. So whenever two machines are communicating with each other, okay, they are communicating in form of binary digits, which are zeros and ones. And that sort of communication, that sort of uh, ecosystem of communication, or ecosystem of how you express, how you understand, that is basically digital. Okay, so whenever we are talking on a call, that call is being converted into some sort of packet, and that packet is basically nothing but basically binary construction, which is zeros and ones, and that is transmitted over the network, right? But what is virtual? So virtual is constructed on top of digital, and virtual is uh, meant to be understood by a human. That is the very fundamental difference between digital and virtual. So digital is for machine to machine, and virtual is for human to human. So now the same time that call is arrived on your phone, you can hear not digits, ones and zeros. You must be hearing somebody talking something, right? You are hearing me right now speaking about virtual reality and everything, right? So you're not hearing bits and bytes, you're not hearing Morse code, or you are not hearing zeros and ones, right? So this conversion of digital content or digital language into that human understandable form, visual form, you can say, is virtual itself, right? So it's a very thin boundary, it's a very thin line, but it's very fundamental to understand. When we are talking about virtual reality, you have to understand the very word virtual. Okay, now let's come on to, without wasting any time, that what is a virtual simulation. The idea is that whenever there is a physical phenomena, you try to replicate that physical phenomena, reconstruct that physical phenomena into a virtual simulated world. Okay, so whenever you try to create a physical phenomena with these bits and bytes, which can be understood by some human, not by some machine, it's called a virtual simulation. For example, you can see raining, right? It's raining out there, and you try to create a digital reconstruction of that rain. Okay, for example, you can create an animation in which something is raining, or you can create a digital art. So now it became a virtual simulation of that rain model, right? Something happens in reality and you replicate that in virtual world. That is called virtual simulation. Okay, so it could be anything. Now what is virtual reality? Now it virtual reality is another layer on this virtual world. So now the idea is, we'll try to put a human inside this virtually constructed world. When you do it, the human became the key component, the key observer of that human, that virtual environment which is created by you. So you are literally the god of this virtually constructed world, and that makes things really insane, because you can create anything in virtual reality. You can create your own reality in virtual reality, and you can make somebody, some living human being, some observer, a part of that system. Okay, so that is the entire concept of virtual reality. Now, what is augmented reality? A lot of you guys might have heard of this, and let's understand the difference between virtual reality and augmented reality. So, AR is a very popular term these days. It's popular since 2015 when Pokemon Go released, and and then in 2017 a lot of Instagram filters and Snapchat filters popped up, right? So what is exactly augmented reality? in augmented reality, basically, we try to bring out some virtual components of these virtual worlds, and bring it out into the real world and blend it with the very scenario of this real world. Now, in that case, it is called augmented reality, right? So, virtual reality, we are putting a human inside virtual world. Augmented reality, we are bringing out some of the component of these virtual worlds and blending with the real existing physical world. Okay, so that is augmented reality for you guys. What is mixed reality? Okay, this is an interesting one. So let me tell you, mixed reality is nothing different than augmented reality. The only different the only difference you will find is basically augmented reality is referred to the devices which are handheld, which means tablets and iPhones and all the phones, right? So these handheld devices are responsible for augmented reality. But when you put something on your head, which is called head mounted display, right? Whenever you stick something to your head and you use augmented reality, now that augmented reality term is referred to as mixed reality. In fact, this is such a new word that it is being founded in 2017 when Microsoft came up with a device called HoloLens, which is being mounted on the head, and it shows basically augmented reality. So they invented new word to suggest that their technology is very different, right? But it is exactly augmented reality. Okay. Now there is a science called virtual haptics. Virtual haptics is basically, uh, let's try to understand that. You cannot feel virtual models, right? So suppose the boundaries are existent. You cannot put your finger through your phone, right? Because there is a physical boundary there. But when you are in virtual reality, there's no such thing as physical boundary, because everything is made up of virtual objects. You might have seen this in PUBG a lot. One virtual character can go through other virtual characters sometimes because of a glitch, or can see past the walls and these sort of things, right? So this happens because there is no boundary. In virtual world there is boundary, but there is no physical boundary constraints. There are no constraints which are keeping character to not go past, right? So we try to create, with the help of robotics, we try to create these sort of constraints. We, with a very proper or with very intelligent mechanics, we come up with some sort of boundaries. I'll show you some example for sure, that how we create these virtual haptic technologies and what they are exactly. I can see a lot of chats are coming, but I'll come to that as well once I'm done with the slide. So I'll definitely read all the messages. So spatial audio is nothing new. Spatial audio, if you have heard of any A.R. Rahman song, you might be referring it as stereo audio, but is it actually spatial audio? So concept of spatial audio is basically whenever you hear a sound, like similarly like the real world, you should be able to refer that from which direction and from how far distance that sound is coming. So you should be able to point at that sound source, right? So that is called spatial audio. Whenever you hear something, you know from where it's coming, right? So that is the technology called spatial sound, and that is what we use in virtual reality a lot. Okay. Location based XR. So if you, for example, know that where that person is experiencing your product, where that person is playing your games, right? You can take advantage of that scenario, that geographical location, and convert the aspect of that geographical location into replicate that same thing in your virtual environments, which makes the virtual thing feel more real. For example, if it's raining in their nearby locations, you can track that, you can verify that with that geographical maps and all that, and you can also make the environment rain. You can have virtual training in your environment as well. It's called procedural environments, which are adaptable to geographical conditions. Okay, so now let's try to understand this market size. So how big is virtual reality market or augmented reality market? Okay, so XR market size in 2019 was $21 billion. It is huge of a money. To compare it, so Facebook bought WhatsApp in $8 billion. So it is almost three times. Okay, in 2019 it became $32 billion. In 2020, it was expected to be $51 billion, and it was. Uh, if you go far till 2025, it will be approximately $400 billion industry. Okay? According to this research, according to this survey, according to this report by PwC, you know what PwC is, an industrial corporation. They published a report called "Seeing is Believing," which means visualization is helpful for any field of industry. Okay, I have linked this blog here. It's a very interesting blog. According to it, it is expected to grow 1.5 trillion dollars by 2030. Okay, it is a huge number. Now let's talk about who is investing in virtual reality, and this huge number is going to be distributed in whom, who's going to take advantage of these numbers. So the answer is this is the landscape of 2019 virtual reality industry. So you can see almost all the providers of technology, whoever is investing in technology is already investing in virtual reality because they know how big the industry is going to be. They have the numbers, they see the they see the potential of the technology, so the numbers are there. So you can see there is Marvel, right? There is HBO, Netflix. These are the content provider, the entertainers of the virtual reality. There are technology like enterprises like uh, Google, Oculus, Facebook, Microsoft. These are building blocks of, these are the providers of these technologies. Then there are also distribution channels like Oculus, like Steam. These are all the distributors. Oracle is building one. Next VR, Apple bought Next VR recently. Apple bought one more company recently. So Apple is announced one headset which is going to be about $3,000, which is an expensive category headset, which they are coming from. So everybody is investing because everybody know the numbers are there. They are that they are going to huge early profits if they start early with the technology. I recently did a video on my channel where I explained that Apple is trying to get into the technology of virtual reality since 2008. So that's how early they are trying because they know the future is XR. I'll tell you why and how. Okay, so in India, you know this, Geo announced Geo Glass. They, I have this video in more detail as well, so you can cover that on my YouTube channel as well. I'll give you the suggestions later. Okay, so you might be wondering that why everybody is investing in that, what they can do with that, why they are making just games, and I mean why it's just used for games, right? No, you are very wrong. Virtual reality is not just used for games. Games is obviously the 75% part of augmented reality and virtual reality right now, but it's changing. People are creating entertainment stuff in virtual reality, right? People are, I know I have interviewed a lot of directors who are creating movies in virtual reality. People are literally dancing in virtual reality. I know a friend, I know a two or three friends who are doing this sort of gig where they are performing in the performing arts. They are using virtual reality, blending their skills with virtual reality and making it so more awesome and effective. People are drawing art. I hosted Rosie Summers, and she's an exceptional virtual reality artist, and she's creating art inside virtual reality. So that episode is a must check out. I'll give you the suggestion later. So social interaction. So Facebook recently is investing heavily in Quest. If you have heard of Quest 2, Facebook is investing heavily in that and subsidizing that. Even the kind of hardware they are selling at only $300 is exceptional. Not possible if it they were not Facebook. They already have huge funds. That's why they are subsidizing the market so that people adopt to virtual reality. In fact, Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg also said in he is very passionate about his dreams in virtual reality. He said that this market is going to grow uh, by I mean, he want to see 1 billion people in virtual reality. He is very aggressive with the numbers, but yeah, that's what he want. Okay, scientific simulations are being trained on virtual reality. I have worked on a lot of healthcare simulations in virtual reality as a medical imaging scientist, as I already told earlier. So a lot of business presentation, business automations are being used in virtual reality. I know a friend of mine who has created a virtual reality bank, and it's actually a real bank because he's going to sell the system, sell the technology to a lot of banks. Then you can have virtual reality banks, right? It's being used in military training since years, right? So you might be wondering, okay, there are so many things apart from just games, but how it's possible? For example, if you have a tool, for example, that tool is a screwdriver, you can screw a few nuts or screw a few nails, but you cannot do much more than that, right? So how can virtual reality do all this stuff? The answer is that virtual reality is not a tool or not a single technology. Virtual reality is indeed a medium. Okay. So now you might be asking that what is exactly a medium now? Why do I have to understand that? Medium is anything which we use to communicate between the product creator and the product consumer. Now understand it. In your television right now, what kind of content you are uh, looking at? So the answer is everything, right? So let's try to understand it. It's religious content which is available on your TV. It's news. It's so many TV soaps episodes, entertainment. There is so many educational channels, I'm sure, like Discovery is there, like so this is a medium, and you can use medium to communicate anything to your consumer, to your watcher, to your listeners, right? Right now at Zoom, we are talking at Zoom. There are so many Zoom meetings being held in 2020. So Zoom is also a medium, and there is no limitation that what kind of meeting could be held on Zoom. Almost everything, right? So your phone right now, the next medium is a phone. In your phone, what kind of content you assume? Of course, games. But you assume more than that, games. You a lot of people might be hearing this on their phones, right? A lot of them. So the phone is a medium. Okay. So similarly, the virtual reality is the next medium. It's not a tool, because tool can do one thing or hardly two if it's a good one. But a medium does anything, right? So you can basically, whatever the skill you have, you can somehow blend that this technology, this medium into that, and convey to your audience with this sort of tool, this sort of medium. Now I'm going to show you something emotional, because why not? Okay, so it's a Korean platform. It's a story of a mother who lost her children, who lost her daughter, and this company bring her daughter back in form of this virtual reality avatar, so that she can spend one more birthday of her, so that she can touch one more time. She is wearing right now haptic glove. I told you about haptics, right? So with haptics, she can feel her in feel the touch of her child one more time, spend some more time, maybe spend one more birthday of her, celebrate some more time. Okay, so this sort of use are being done in virtual reality, and it's possible with a medium only, not with a tool, right? So yeah, anything is possible in virtual reality. I know it's not as good as a real person, but it's better than a photograph. Okay, so let's see one of these. Okay, so this is one of my
एक क्विक टूर
podcasts in
करते हैं,
virtual
बट पहले
reality.
मैं देख लूँ
I'm
कि कैमरा
not, I'm
एंगल
sure
वगैरह सब
you
कुछ सही
you
है,
guys
क्योंकि
you
देयर
guys
इज अ
might
लॉट
not
टू
be
सेट
getting
अप
the
हियर.
audio, because Manav told me that they might get the audio.
ओके,
But okay,
इस पे भी.
here I spoke about a lot
ओके,
of things,
सो
including I
ये
created this
कैमरा आ गया
entire
मेरे पास.
virtual reality
ये
set.
कैमरा
I'm
मैं
trying
घुमा
to
लेता हूँ. ओके,
end the audio here, because for me
से
it's annoying.
2000 मेंबर्स देखना चाहिए.
Okay, but
ओके,
okay, cool.
वन मोर,
Okay, so what you can see here, we
वन
can
मोर, वन
go
मोर.
there, we can click pictures. We built a
लव
lot of
चेक आउट दिस
sets,
वन.
we built a lot of equipment. This video is there, by the
यस,
way. And my friend is a big fan
देयर
of
मस्ट बी अ
Captain America,
इक्विप
so I
ऑप्शन,
bought him
बस वो
a
क्लिक करना.
Captain America suit, and which he can wear. And basically, I can wear my Iron Man suit, and we can have selfies together. Yeah, why not?
अब पहुंच
So
पाओगे.
let's see how he's gonna take his suit.
क्या मैंने पहन लिया वो शूट?
इक्विप पे उंगली दिखा
And
के क्लिक कर
that
दो।
guy, my friend Lav Shukla,
ओहो कैप्टन
he was
अमेरिका।
sitting in
ओहो
Canada,
यू आर
and I
लुकिंग
was
रियली
there
कूल।
in Kolkata,
और ये देखो
and
मेरा
still
आयरन मैन
we
सूट।
had there, we are
एक काम
spending
करता हूँ,
time
इसका
together
अच्छा
like
वीडियो
we are
बनाता
in
हूँ।
the same room.
ये
This
जगह
is
हमने थोड़ी
the
टेढ़ी
power
कर
of
दी।
virtual reality,
कोई
what
नहीं।
we
ओके
are basically. So we took some
मैं
selfies.
हूँ
Yeah,
आयरन
here we are.
मैन एंड आई
Okay, Garibu ka Captain America. Okay, so I built this fun game, and this was about COVID-19. This was about coronavirus. So here I'm fighting my way with coronavirus in virtual reality. So I built this game on a live stream. It was built in 8 hours. So I did it in 2 episodes. I built 4 hours basic functionality and then 4 hours to make it more visually appealing, right? So I built this game in 8 hours, and it takes audio. Everything you see is all the animations are being changed based on how the audio reacts, how the audio is spectrum is. And the audio design was done by my brother. He's a very good music producer. So we did the audio for this game, and we built this game in virtual reality. So we are fighting COVID-19 in virtual reality. Another simulation which we did, I insist this one. In this one, you guys might not be hearing the AI voices because we have an AI in this application as well. But you
2020.
guys can see this is basically projecting a lot of
2,079
numbers.
people are
These
so
numbers
most
are
affected
the
country
current
in the
COVID
world
cases.
currently
So
with
you can, this is an augmented reality example. You can see I
4,832,862
built this
confirmed
to
cases and
keep track on how AI is going. You can see all the countries'
158,574
name.
deaths
That
so
time
far.
India was at third number. You
India
can
has a
also look
total
at
of
all the cities and all the states of India. You can see the total number in
1,058,331
India, total
cases.
cases,
Maharashtra
how
has
many cured, everything is there. Nationwide
450,196
percentage of
confirmed,
each state.
with
So
61
everything
deaths
is there.
so
It's a
far.
visualization system which we built for COVID. There is a very important detail. There is all the news which you can consume. So it's running in my home, and you can also to make
In
people
December
aware of
2019,
what
there was
COVID
a
is, and
cluster of
it's
pneumonia
for fake
cases in the
news.
city
So
of
we
Wuhan in
added
China.
these few
In December
valid sources
2019, the
videos so
Chinese
that the people
authorities
can
notified the
educate
world that a
themselves through
virus was
virtual
spreading through
reality
their community.
At
about
first, you
how
might think it's a
COVID
cold,
is or what COVID
and it
is.
could be.
Okay,
But
so
COVID
yeah,
19
I'll
could
give you link to
escalate.
these videos.
Here's what you need to know.
Then there are some of these videos I would love to share with you guys. Okay, so in this one
तो
you
भाई
can
अगर
see
अभी तक
this is me,
XRDI को
and
सब्सक्राइब नहीं
I'm
किया है तो
showing
सब्सक्राइब कर
you
दो, साथ ही
how
साथ
Instagram
लाइक
filters are
कमेंट
made.
और
So I
शेयर भी
made
करते
this
रहा करो।
Instagram filter
थैंक यू।
for my channel, which is called XRDI, and this another one.
Alright guys,
When
so we are
XRDI
going to
grew
try
1 year,
this
I
XRDI
shared
Instagram
this
filter. So
happy birthday
tap on the
filter
screen like
for
this,
XRDI,
and now it's
so you
lit
can
and
blow and the candle is going to that's how you celebrate 1 year anniversary of
so that's how you
XRDI.
celebrate XRDI.
So let me just bring back the voice on because now the videos are not playing. Okay, cool. So now what you can see here is a QR code. Just forget the QR code. Right now you cannot use it. Okay. So what we do exactly, let me tell you what our community does. So we are basically working on AR XR awareness because we want people of India to take benefit of these technologies and build their careers a lot. We want a lot of people to build their careers around these technologies because there's a lot of scope in future. Don't look at what you are getting right now. Just imagine whenever the Apple and whenever the Geo, these huge giants are coming up with their headsets in the market, how much that space you can occupy. For example, you can think of it like right now the stores, the Oculus and the Steam stores, and Geo is going to come up with one more store. So these stores are in the condition like play in the same condition as the Play Store and the App Stores of year 2008. That time there was no Uber on the App Store and Play Store. So what Uber did, they actually created their application and put it on App Store to reach a lot of people, right? They build their platform, their $1 billion company out of that. So it's your chance to come up with ideas and bring it on platform. And since the competition is really less right now, so you can take advantage. That it's called early mover advantage. You can take that and maybe become a even a billionaire. possibilities are endless. Okay, so but you have to come up with a very good idea and a very good tool. That's the condition for sure. Okay, so for sure a lot of existing companies, like I already showed you the landscape of 2019, 2021. It's even more aggressive. It's huge, but we are in the beginning. It's not better to show that. Okay, so these technology, we try to educate people that why they should do learn more about augmented reality and virtual reality. It doesn't mean that you have to publish a tool, right? A lot of people in my podcast, you will see a lot of people who are just using it, who are just using Instagram filters and earning money with that. I'll tell you how later. Okay, all the details are on my YouTube channel. You guys can uh, explore that in later. Let's now talk about XR content production. So we have two content companies. So we produce a lot of XR content. One is more technical, and the other one is educational in nature. Okay, we have XR Entertainment. So we recently shot a movie with a documentary about a doctor in virtual reality. One of our partner companies did that. XR skill democratization, we are teaching people how to get trained with extended reality. Uh, yeah, we have the masterclass available for free, and all the content we are producing is going to be free forever. So it's there on the platform. You guys can take advantage anytime. XR empowerment, we are basically reaching to colleges. We are talking to people, and we are also coming up very soon with the houses and the clubs of the community. So like you guys must have heard of DSC or GDG or Girl Script or IEEE. These are the clubs of college. So similarly, you will also see our name. By the June, we are targeting 50 colleges where we'll start our clubs. So if you want your club to be a part of that, connect with me. I'll give you information how to do that. Okay, so you can lead the virtual reality industry in your college. You can become the face of virtual reality in your college. You can be known as virtual reality engineer in your college. uh, okay, so yeah, I'll connect with me. I'll guide you how. XR networking. So we are basically the biggest platform right now in India for virtual reality. So we have more than 73 volunteers, more than 50 startups which are right now producing some sort of products in virtual reality. We are working on XR growth. Okay, so where do I start? You might be wondering. So first figure out what kind of person you are, what kind of talent you already have, or what kind of interest you have, what kind of passion you have. So whatever it is, you can somehow find way, or help me if you don't. You can take my help if you don't come up intuitively. You can find a way to blend your talent, blend your personality with virtual reality or augmented reality. So I have seen people who are doing art. I've seen people who are design, storytelling, optimizations, who are actually building stuff like gameplay programming and graphic programming. I know people who are good animators and earning huge amount of money with virtual reality, augmented reality. I know a few journalists. There's a good friend of mine called Gayatri Parmeswaram. He's not Indian. She's living at Germany right now, and she has this company which produced a virtual reality documentary called Home After War, and she is a virtual reality journalist. So her opinion is that in virtual reality you cannot hide anything because it's covering everything possible. So yeah, she is very exceptional in role, but she's doing pretty good at that. uh, I have seen a lot of virtual reality influences, like I hosted VR Girl on my podcast. So she's amazing. She's I think from Chicago, and she's doing amazing with virtual reality. She's teaching, helping a lot of products to come up with their brands, and she's promoting them and earning money with affiliated programs. I know a lot of photogrammetry artists, so I'll talk about that. I used to talk about that a lot in the program, so you can find those recordings on the channel. Okay, so whatever the skill you have right now, there is a chance to blend it with virtual reality and make a shine in the industry. So Siddharth Warrior, if you know who Siddharth Warrior is, he said the same thing, that if you want to find your niche, what you have to do is basically find two things you are good at. So, for example, he found it that he is good with neuroscience and he blended it with YouTube. Okay, so be good at two skills and blend them together, and now you have a niche. So you can find anything what you are interested in and blend it with virtual reality, augmented reality, and you'll be a very unique person with a very unique ability, with a very unique cross section of technologies or knowledge, and gain advantage of that. Now, to learn that, community will help you. Like, for example, we are extended reality developers of India. As already said, we are providing a lot of educational content which is related to virtual reality for sure. I'll show you. But we are also providing a lot of uh, we are running an entrepreneur program, so we are also providing business simulation for uh, people who are really really interested, who are really, really passionate in building their own companies. We are doing uh, procedures like process management and all these sort of technical and skill based programs. And I also have a podcast. So, for example, when you go to the XRDA channel, so just go to YouTube and search for XRDNI. Don't go now, go after this session. I hope you guys remember these four characters. I wish so. Okay, so you can go on XRDI after this session, and basically there you will find a lot of playlist. So these are the playlists. You guys must know there is a playlist section in YouTube. So there you will find a lot of playlist, and the most important one, in my opinion, is this one, XR Masterclass. There I try to provide. I cannot tell you in 1 hour how to start with virtual reality and what is virtual reality at the core, right? But what I can do is basically I can teach you how you can start with virtual reality in 7 days, right? So that's what I did. It's a 7 day program. Take it completed with 7 day, and that's how you learn. So day one, day two, day three, everything is there. Okay, 7 day program. You can also learn from the industry legends. You can We have the XR podcast where I invite people who actually build products, who actually are doing amazing stuff in virtual reality, and they teach how they did that, and what is the product they are working on, what is the core philosophy which they are towards. Okay, so I also host the news so that you can upload, you can be updated with the what's running. We have the entrepreneur mentor sessions. So also check out this mentor so that you can learn about different but related skills to virtual reality, and you can teach yourself. Okay, so these are all sort of links. I have already provided this PDF link. In that, all the link I showed, this is basically this presentation, all the link I showed is there, so you can take advantage. We also have a Discord group, so you can take advantage of that, or if you are interested in WhatsApp, that is cool. Okay, you can contact me in several ways. If you want to, there is also an exceptional starting program. It's a guideline of a game engine called Unity 3D, and it's a tremendous game engine because you can learn a lot of things. You can do a lot of things with Unity 3D, and this is a 3 year program. So it's like you can understand these. I learned these things in 3 years of my career. In the first 3 years, I've been there in past 10 years. So in first 3 years I learned these three things, and these three curriculum. I followed these three curriculum, and I if you start with these sort of curriculum, it makes your ride really easy. I'm into curriculum design, so I've designed curriculum for a lot of colleges as well.